Welcome to the Elite Podcast, where we discuss business, family, and life. Now, welcome to your hosts, Mr. H. Rod himself, Henry Rodriguez, and Ryan Arditty, the SCV MVP.
What's up, podcast world? It's your favorite insurance agent, Henry Rodriguez. And on this episode, we have a special co-host.
Hi, it's Real Estate Liz.
And my usual co-host.
It's your boy, the SCV MVP.
Liz, I got issues.
I'm excited right now.
But I got issues right now, man.
You've always had issues.
Not those kind of issues. Travel baseball, Liz.
Oh,
Can we
man. All right, travel baseball.
talk about the commitment in that?
Okay, nobody tells you it's like another full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got two of them.
I know.
Oh,
I know you do.
dude.
I know you do.
It is.
Yes.
Every weekend.
Every weekend, there's no breaks.
It should be like a disclaimer
Yes.
before you sign up. Like, you will have no life.
100%. Have you seen that?
Other than the DJ's music is on fire.
Right, seriously.
But like,
Yes.
That's the only
Ballpark
time.
DJ, shout out.
That's the
Shout
only
out to
time
Ballpark
it's actually kind of
DJ.
fun.
Yes.
But other than that, it's like early mornings, late evenings.
Yes.
This city, that city.
I mean, I've never even heard of Harupa Valley
No,
before.
and we're there
Yes.
we're there at least
where?
once a month.
Harupa
We're there-
Valley.
yeah,
Do you know where that is?
exactly,
Nobody knows where that
exactly.
is unless you're a travel ball parent.
Exactly,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Why Harupa?
I don't know. Oh,
You know what the worst is? Okay, here's the worst. You travel to Harupa, which is an hour and a half, hour
Harupa?
45, yes.
Yes.
Sounds like a soda.
To play a local team.
Yes.
That is, I'm
To
like,
play
we
the
could have played hard
Crushers.
baseball.
I'm like, we could have played the Crushers at the park.
Yeah. But we traveled
By
an
our
hour and
house.
45 minutes.
Yes.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
I have a question though. What about expectations, right? Like, where are the kids gonna make it? What if like AAA, double
they better
A?
make it
Like,
to
what
the-
happens here?
Oh,
My
well,
son's better be second base and shortstop
That's
for the
what I mean.
Dodgers, dude.
That's what I mean.
That is the
Michael.
expectations. There's a big Liz. Talk about that.
Expectations. Look, if he's having fun and he's
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
in his best effort
Yes.
and he's going to practice excited,
Yep.
then I call that a win,
Yeah,
right?
you'll drive anywhere for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then the like bond that those little boys build with each
Friendships
other, those
forever.
friendships,
Yeah.
the
Families,
families,
yeah, yep.
the families.
Okay,
yes. I mean,
Liz.
it is worth
Glass
it.
half full, Liz.
I'm gonna sign my kid
It
up
is
right now.
so worth it. And the joy.
Yeah.
Like,
So
you
much
know,
joy.
Yeah.
But
It is
dude,
very expensive
it's
and time consuming.
Not even the cost.
Yeah, the cost is.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
but
it is
the
what it is.
commitment from
Yeah.
the parents.
Yeah.
These boys are lucky.
Yeah. Oh, 100% lucky.
They're so lucky.
I mean, and we have, their head coach, Trevor.
Yes.
I mean,
Who's been on the
Former athlete.
podcast.
yes.
Yeah, he was on
Trevor's
there.
been on the
Yeah.
podcast.
He made it to the show. He's an
Yes.
awesome entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Great coach.
Yes.
But it's still a commitment nonetheless.
It's such a
This
commitment.
past weekend, I was in Palmdale, which is windy and cold.
Yeah.
And then had
Yeah.
to drive
Not fun.
all the way to Pico Rivera the next day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
like,
that's
because I
crazy.
had both of them, right?
Oh.
Mason played in the AV, and then Jaden was playing in Pico Rivera.
Can we talk about the field bathrooms?
Oh, we don't want to do that. Oh,
Wait, hold on.
That
I guess
is
for our female viewers, yes.
that, like female viewers, if your children are signing up for travel ball,
Yeah.
please take wipes with you.
Oh, geez
take,
Louise.
take
Precaution.
a privacy screen.
Yes. They should've got a
Carry a
little kit.
privacy
Bring a
screen
flashlight.
with you.
Bring a flashlight.
flashlight. Bring a ton of hand sanitizer.
And
So
this
for
is
all
all
the
year,
travel
right?
ball
This is all
parents,
year.
we see you guys.
Oh, yeah, we see you. Shout out to you
Shout out
guys.
to all you guys.
Yes.
Because it's certainly commitment. And my commitment for my boys, you know what I love about baseball for my boys? It shows them teamwork. It
Yeah.
shows them hard work.
Yes.
And if it can help them get into college, it's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah.
And like that is so far, like Michael's 10, right? So to me, it's far off, but then again, it's a blink of an eye,
Yeah.
right? But like, it's so far off. Like, I don't put that expectation on Michael just yet. Again, as long as he's having fun and we're, bonding with great families and
right.
doing all of that.
And sports are amazing. It teaches
yes. For
things
sure,
that we
for
can't
sure.
teach as parents.
100%.
you know?
100%.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
How to be on time.
Yep.
Liz should have learned that a long time ago.
I'm there with you, Liz.
You know,
I was
my
running
mom
late
should
today,
have a
Liz.
travel ball team.
Yes.
I barely survived the Dodger
Actually,
game, Liz.
Liz, you were on time for this one.
I was actually 2 minutes
Go figure.
early.
She's
It
on
is-
camera. She's
We
on
saw her
time.
on the ring. We saw her on the ring.
Jeremy's like, babe, when they say the game starts at 4, it means you need to be there at 3.
Right,
like,
right. And you're like,
yes,
okay, no, me no
what?
speak
like,
English.
no. Yeah. Shout out to two parents that do an awesome job. We talk about every team has the ballpark DJ parent.
Yep.
And every team has the game changer parent.
Oh, the game changer
Shout
parent.
out to
Yes.
those two
So
parents.
no, the person who's like putting in play by play, like literally.
Oh, like your
Ball, strike,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
error, hit. Like this,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
this person has to be like tuned in, locked in.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't
Shout
know
out
they
to
had that.
them. They're amazing. And like game changer expert level is the parents or the family that has like
The live stream?
The live stream.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
when I'm
yeah.
at open houses and I can't be at the
It's
game.
next level, dude.
It is really
It's
cool.
next
Shout
level.
out to them. Shout out to those parents.
I want to be the hype parent though. Like now, Patty. Now, Patty.
That would be Ryan.
Yeah, I want to be that guy.
That
I want
would
to be
be
that parent.
totally
I wanna be that
you.
parent.
Speaking of
Yeah.
game changers, like
Yes.
just the technology was awesome. So
is
Sonia
so
had
cool.
a family a baby shower. You went to the like friend's
Yes.
baby shower,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We had a family one, and the entire family was around our family TV,
Yes.
watching Mason play in
Yes.
Europa.
Yep.
And it was I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. Anyways,
Yeah. Shout out to the game changer parents
Yeah.
for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
enough with
Alrighty.
this
Yeah.
travel baseball.
Yes, enough with it.
Louise.
Yeah.
Let's introduce our guest speaker. Right?
I'm excited.
You excited?
Yeah.
I know you are.
I'm really-
I think
Alright.
she might know me.
Miss Karla Waymire. How are you?
Welcome.
I'm
And
well.
welcome.
I'm well.
Sorry, did we scare you with all the travel baseball stuff?
No,
Or are you all
scared me
about it too?
when I thought we were going to talk about the bathroom.
Those are scary.
They are very scary.
They're scary
Yes.
for the males. I can only imagine for
Oh,
the
Lord.
females. Oh, yeah. But anyways, please
Yeah.
share a little bit about yourself.
Well, about me or about, well, I'm a certified family law specialist and I've got kids. I've got a husband. There's a lot to me. I don't know. I'm silly, but I don't know. What do you want to know? There's a lot to know.
Let's go into your family law practice. How about that? How did you start it? Why did you start it? What inspired you to start it?
So, my journey as a young attorney started out, I was representing victims of elder abuse and dependent adult abuse. And I liked it a lot, but there was some part of it that just it wasn't a perfect fit. And eventually somebody asked me to help them with a divorce, and it's kind of embarrassing.
That's a unique conversation.
Yeah, somebody was like,
You're a lawyer, right? Can you help me with my divorce?
literally, that's how it
Like
happened.
via text? Via
Right? Like,
text?
hey.
Yeah.
Literally, somebody was like,
Like so
can you
nonchalant.
100%. I could probably go back in my iCloud and see who that person
Seriously.
was. I probably owe them, I don't know, my career. But she texted me and was like, hey, I really got to get a divorce. Can you help me? Because my papers keep getting rejected. I'm thinking, psh, how hard can this be, right? I'm a lawyer, right? Pass the bar. So I'm like, sure, right? Okay, so I help her with the papers. I file them. Guess what? They got rejected. And
Boost to the ego for sure.
yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? So then, one thing about me is I love a challenge. So then I'm like,
can see
okay,
that.
yeah. So then I'm like, you know what?
It's on.
Yeah, now I'm like,
Let's go.
now I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay,
Gonna
you just
conquer
monsters awake. So I fixed what I thought the problem was, and I filed them again, and they got rejected again.
Okay.
So then I'm like, okay, now it's personal. Like, I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I drove my ass over to the downtown LA courthouse on Hill Street, and I waited in line with all the pro se, just it's Latin for self-represented, with all the litigants. I
I was
stood
going to ask
there.
you, what is pro se?
Yeah. So I stood there with pro se. I stood there with all the pro
It's
se.
like an Italian dish.
Yeah.
Pro se, yeah.
Pro se. I stood there with all the pro se people, and they're all looking at me, and I'm like, shh, relax, I'm pro se too. And I'm, because it's like embarrassing, right? Like, here's I'm
Pro
a
se
full
sellers?
blown,
Pro se
yeah, pro
sellers.
se. Like, don't worry, I'm pro se too.
Yeah.
And I, go to the clerk, and she's like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, I gotta fix this. And she's like, well, it got rejected twice. And I'm like, I'm aware.
Okay, Captain
And she's like,
Obvious.
well, are you an attorney? I'm like, yeah, does it matter? She's like, well, kind of. So anyway, long story short, after trying like literally five more times, because that wasn't my thing, right? I wasn't doing family law at the time. It finally got accepted. Whoop.
Woohoo.
And then I realized there's so much more to family law than filling out forms.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoop.
Yeah.
So And then someone else asked me, and I was dumb enough to be like, yeah, right? I did it once. I can do it again. So that's how it started.
Okay.
And the rest is history. And now I'm obsessed.
Okay.
Because I love a challenge.
How many years with the firm now?
This firm?
Your own firm?
Well, I had another firm. That was my firm. I had a partner. But now this firm I've had for, gosh, it's been about 5 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Very cool.
That is so cool.
So you are just outside of what I call like the startup period, right? Because they always say the first 3 years of any business is critical. Talk about getting over that hump. Or are you still getting over the hump?
I think every year of having a business is critical.
Talk about those challenges. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, you know what? And you guys probably agree, right?
Yeah. As self
You're an attorney. I'm agreeing. You're an attorney. We're always agreeing.
I love it. I'm going to hang out with you more. And you should talk to my
I'm the fun
husband.
guy.
Because he needs to agree more.
Who happens to be an attorney also, right?
Yeah, but
how
He'll
does that
never
work?
win, though.
How
He'll
does
never
that
win.
work? That should be
he
fun.
hasn't gotten the memo that he just needs to agree more.
Yeah.
But
Well, he's an attorney, so.
no, but I feel like having a business, the toughest part is, for me at least, it's recognizing when to push and when to pivot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, is this an obstacle, or is this a moment where I just need to recognize that this is like, need to go a different way.
Sure.
And I think that's what separates the people who end up on the success train versus on the train.
Yeah.
And it's hard, right? Because that's where the tough decisions get made.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's easier to be like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to pivot, because it's hard to push. Pushing is hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I do think I'm over some of the hump.
Sure.
But are you ever really over the hump?
I think
Well,
I'm 14 years of my business.
Yeah, there's different stages.
There's different hump
phases,
levels.
right?
There's
yeah.
different
So
levels for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a whole other like laundry list of issues and problems to solve. Like,
See?
Right.
But getting over the hump meaning like, where you're starting to maybe see some money, some income coming in, right? I remember the first 3 years, it was challenging. I had employees making more money than me,
for
just to make sure that like
sure.
the brand was there, that my clients were taken care of. And so I took a step back to eventually, hopefully, fingers crossed, take 2 steps forward. And it worked out, right? That sacrifice. I always say that the ones who are willing to sacrifice the most will be the most successful, right? Sure. Because everyone talks about it, but if you're willing to sacrifice what most people won't, those are the successful ones, right?
100%. And you know what? I think a misconception, like people always think like, oh, you're a lawyer, you must be so confident. It's like, dude, okay, first of all,
They say that about us realtors, right?
Oh my goodness. Right.
Okay.
We're the most insecure people on the planet.
Wow.
Okay, keep
Speak for yourself, Ryan. Thank you.
My co-host over here is pretty confident,
We're talking about me.
Okay,
I'm talking about me.
There's a track record of success
You're
over
not
here.
going to win any of these arguments, okay, dude? She's being represented right now by the way, Ryan.
No, but
I'm saying in business.
Can you guys, don't you guys agree that before confidence comes competence?
Oh,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Like you have to actually know what you're doing
Right.
Yes.
before you can.
Well,
can
how
get
do you
up there.
have one without the other?
You cannot.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, you're just a fake.
Yeah.
For
You're
sure.
like
Yeah.
fake and phony,
Right.
and you're just blown. I mean, it's a joke.
Right.
So I think again, it's putting in the work, and like you said, that starting period, it's sacrifice, it's grit, it's sweat, blood,
I
sweat,
love
tears.
though how you put that.
It's gnarly.
Competence before confidence, which is why for me, like, I'm constantly sharpening the saw. I
Have
see
to.
you do it. I see you do it. And I'm sure you do it in your business.
Yes.
Like, I have my undergrad from CSUN. You have your undergrad as well. You went to law school. I have my MBA. But I do these things to be credible, to be competent to my clients, so that the confidence is just it's just there because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't you guys think sometimes competence and experience go together, right? You got to kind of go through the fire to learn and kind of see what it's about a little
But
bit.
experience takes time, right? Like you can sharpen the saw in your first 3 years. Experience comes after having your business 5 years, 10 years, 14 years now. You know?
But, I will say, a lot of times experience gets confused with like time in the business. And I know a lot of people in all industries that have been in their business for a long time, but don't take the time to sharpen their saw,
Yeah.
don't take the time to innovate. And yes, they're years in the business, business can say one thing, but are they truly competent in a changing market or in a changing industry or
That's a good point.
It depends, it really depends.
Yeah, for sure. I think a good example of that is, you can be a practicing attorney or a realtor for 100 years. Like you can be 200 years old and be like, oh, I've been doing this half my life for 100 years. Yeah. But if you just sit at home as a realtor or as an attorney and you do nothing at your little desk and you're just like, I'm a practicing attorney, I'm a realtor.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not real experience.
Right.
But you can do it for 5 years or 10 years and really get out there, get burned.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
Shoot
some
your
of
shot.
the best lessons, and when I say best, I mean biggest lessons I've learned as an attorney, as a litigator, are the times I've been burned the most. Where I walk out of that courtroom and I'm like, hold it together, sister. Like I'm holding my shit. And I get to the car and I shut the door and I'm just like, holy fuck, like what just happened?
Right.
Yeah.
Like the burn, and you're just like, all right, like, you know what? The good thing is I'm never going to do that again.
Right? Yeah.
You never lose. You just learn.
Exactly.
Right? It's like coming out of a listing appointment where like,
Yes.
damn it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Or if I came out of it,
absolutely.
oftentimes for me, like when I'm meeting with a client and that, I didn't get the sale or I didn't take care of them as best as I could. Or for me more now is like when I'm coaching my team, God, I could have done better here. Or I could have said this. Or when I'm speaking at an event, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But I always tell myself, you're not losing, dude.
No.
You're learning.
Yes. Yeah.
You're learning for the next opportunity. The next time you put in that situation, now you're experienced, right?
Yeah.
Now learn from that.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Well, that's what I mean. You learn from those failures, right? To get better. And therefore you're becoming more competent in what we're doing.
And there's no such thing as somebody that experiences greatness or true success without failure.
100%.
And anybody that's like,
100%.
I haven't failed.
Yeah.
It's like, nice.
What have you done? You've done nothing.
You must be like, what fountain are you drinking out of?
it's almost like you have to like learn how to embrace failure.
Just embrace
right?
it.
They talk
Like,
about it all the
quit
time,
lying.
right?
Wholeheartedly.
Every
Wholeheartedly.
book, every motivational speaker talks about that
Just
now.
quit lying.
And
Just
you're right. And I love
get on the failure train.
Right.
This is where you learn.
I love your story and everything that you're sharing with us, because I think in the era of social media and everybody kind of just showing like the best parts of their lives, it can be easy to like compare your business 100%. As a real estate agent, or I don't see as many attorneys going like, woohoo, won a deal, like
right.
That's why I
maybe
say
not in my
insecurity.
algorithm.
Parker.
I'll send you some pages.
To Liz's point, that's why I say we're insecure, because we're always comparing ourselves, right?
Always,
it's like, I just sold a house, and you're like, man, I haven't had a call in 3 days. What is going on with me right now?
But if you go back, it's like the same house they sold like 3 months ago.
Liz, shots fired.
It's like the same listing over and over. I'm like,
I've done that. I've done that before. But no, like attorneys, that doesn't happen as much, right? Like with us,
maybe we don't see it.
Larry Parker got me.
It does. I guess you're right. Yeah.
And you know what? By the way, why are people so hesitant to help each other? Why is that so gross?
Ego,
to me?
right?
Well,
Ego?
it stems from insecurity.
Yeah.
The gatekeeping.
Yeah, the gatekeeping.
Like, can y'all
is not
stop
fun.
gatekeeping, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
Yeah.
Newsflash. Helping somebody that is struggling for, like, needs a piece of information, needs a tip, needs a pointer, needs a boost.
Yep.
That is not going to make you any less successful.
No. Yeah.
Because someday you're going to be on that in that boat where you need a tip, a boost, a help, somebody to fill in for you, somebody to vouch for you.
Yes.
And you know what?
Yeah.
You get so much more done when you're collaborating with somebody else.
We talk about collaboration all
Great point.
I mean, we do that at Elite.
You and I talk about this all the time.
We do.
I see her every time I see her. Like, we should collaborate. We've been collaborating forever.
Yeah, and, I mean, don't get me wrong. My field is very much like we go for the jugular. That's what I guess. So I mean, I guess I'm one to talk.
But we collaborate.
Collaboration. Stop collaborating. No, but like.
But I'm gonna kick your ass on this one.
Yeah, like let's collaborate with me and I'll kick your ass. No, but no. The truth is, it gets very expensive to litigate things to death. Okay.
Yeah.
And some of what I consider to be some of my biggest successes are times where I do family law. Hello, first word, family law. Okay. I'm not out here trying to destroy families. Sometimes they're already busted by the time people.
By the time they get to you.
That's long gone by the time they get to you.
You're not the therapist, you're the attorney.
Well, sometimes I'm like, my sister's a therapist, and I'm like, did you rub off on me? No, but like, I try to preserve what's left. Like, to the extent you don't hate you guys, you don't hate each other 10 out of 10. Like, let me not make it a 10 out of 10.
Right.
So if I can collaborate a little bit.
Yeah.
For example, you guys are realtors. I work with realtors all the time. And the house is a big one.
Oh, it's the thing that comes up the most. We were talking that and custody.
And custody and support.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I can work with somebody and, try to figure out a solution, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, would you rather take it to court and spend 50 G's just to get something you're pissed about?
Right.
Like, that's a definition of dumb.
Or have the judge give you a judgment that you already knew was going to happen
Exactly.
in the state of California, 50-50.
Yeah.
Unless you make other arrangements or you have the conversation with the mediator, it's just so much easier.
People just need to, they need
I like what you said, because there's a lot of people out there that go for the jugular. And like to Liz's point, it's going to happen no matter what. Let's work through it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's work through it. And
It's
I think
not
that's
always
probably
the
where
answer.
you can get a lot more repeat business doing that because you actually
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Right.
Caring is huge.
Yeah.
And then I think the fact that you're willing to say, like, hey, listen, like, litigation is expensive.
Yes.
And your family is truly not going to benefit from it. So let's try to figure it out. Even though that means, like, forgive me if I'm wrong, but if litigation takes place, the attorneys are making money, right?
Yes.
And so I love the fact that you're saying, hey, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Let's try to figure it out, preserve what's left.
Yes.
And try to figure it out before we even get to that point.
I mean, people appreciate the honesty. I mean, it's like, the truth is, I'm going to make more money if I take your divorce to trial. That is 100%. That is a fact. And most people know that, whether I tell them or not. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to somebody.
Sure.
But they appreciate it when I'm honest with them and I say, look, this is your harsh reality. And it's like when you guys tell them, look, this is a good offer.
Well, this should be the right price.
Or hey, I know.
Wait, you're telling me people don't listen to you guys?
Oh, my
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, with family, there's more than just the husband and wife. You have kids, right? It's everybody.
It is.
Right?
Yeah, people fight over the dog, the Tupperware.
I was going to ask, how often does the dog get involved?
Wow.
The spaghetti stained Tupperware.
Yeah?
Goodness.
So it's every little thing.
I mean, I'm exaggerating about the Tupperware, but I've had
The dog?
the dog. That's a
How often?
really
Yeah, the dog's
It's a thing.
big one.
Like, who keeps the dog?
Seriously.
Yeah.
yes.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Are you
Wow.
kidding
They'll
me?
have days for the dog, like Monday.
People
Yes.
have
Wow.
custodial
Yes,
exchanges
yes.
for the dog.
Stop.
Look at Henry's
I have
face
seen
right
it.
now.
Stop.
Yes, I have
I
seen
That's
it.
crazy.
Like, okay, you get the dog
Listen.
on Monday, Tuesdays, and every other weekend type thing?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I hope they're not watching. I had
Is it called
a
dog
couple.
support? You pay for dog
I had
support,
a
or-
couple. Well, I had a couple that was literally driving. They were living in LA. One of them, after the separation, one of them moved to Palm Desert, and they were meeting halfway to exchange these two poodles.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, y'all love your poodles. Can you guys just each keep a poodle? Like, what? You get a poodle, I get a poodle.
you get a poodle.
You get a poodle. You get a poodle. You get a poodle. We all get a poodle. Like, what's going on here? But I get it. They love their poodles. They love both poodles. They both love both
Who
poodles.
wants a poodle?
That's crazy. I love my dog, but I can't imagine Cardi being involved in anything like that. But nonetheless, Karla, I love that you're trilingual, by the way. So Spanish, English, and Farsi.
It's my superpower.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Farsi.
How has that helped you connect with such a diverse range of clients?
I mean, I think it helps people, even if it's not the language they speak, it helps them understand that I get different perspectives, which I think, look at us. Look at this little podcast.
It's a very multicultural.
We're very multicultural right now.
Yeah.
You want to learn Hebrew?
Representation.
You should learn Hebrew.
I probably would suck at that. I think people appreciate it when you can relate to at least the fact that not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
You don't have to understand exactly where they are coming from.
Sure.
But if you can accept that not everybody is identical, that's already better than most people. I think so many people are stuck in their one way.
Yes.
That already gives you an edge. And you don't have to be somebody that's bilingual or trilingual to do that, but I encourage anybody who's starting a business to be accepting of people's differences, because unless you're only hoping to get business from one type of person, which good luck succeeding that way.
Yeah.
Right.
In this world.
You really have to embrace the fact that we're all different.
Yeah.
The thing too about business, and I know each and every one of us embraces this, is that there are different cultures that conduct business differently and have different different ideals, and to be respectful of that, and at least, even if it's just very surface, understand the way that specific culture, whether it be, an Iranian culture, or Mexican family, or, a Jewish family, like to understand what their beliefs are and how they conduct business is so important, because it just brings you credibility
100%.
And it shows that you respect their customs, the way that they like to do business, or go through trials of, divorce or, parting from a home, or whatever the case may be,
I think you have a good point. You care.
Yeah.
Right. It's not
You
just
care
like
enough.
my way or the highway, or I
Right.
care like your upbringing or where you're coming from, and you have empathy towards that. And I think that's
Absolutely.
important.
And I think you would agree. I mean, it's almost like instant rapport. If you could speak to someone, a client, potential client, in their native language,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the trust is like almost instant.
100%.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
Yeah.
Would you
And
agree?
I mean, it's the definition of feeling heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially, I mean, if they're coming to you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going through a traumatic time, right? So if you can speak in their native language, it almost brings comfort to them.
Yeah.
Yes?
For sure.
Yeah.
And understand their like cultural nuances is really important. Yeah, for sure.
Karla, you've spoken publicly about your passion for social injustice, including issues like homelessness and child trafficking. How do those causes influence your work and how you show up on your day-to-day? We're going deep on that one.
That's super deep.
Well, like I said, there's a lot to me.
Yeah.
I'm a jokester, but those are things I'm really, really passionate about, that and domestic violence. So domestic violence litigation falls under the family law umbrella.
Right.
And when I started practicing family law, that was part of what really drew me in, was the child abuse and domestic violence part of family law. And the more I became available to victims and people that were suffering and really being just crushed by that existence, I felt like, wow, I want to be in the 2%. There are not a lot of certified family law specialists. There are not a lot of women certified family law specialists. And there definitely are not a lot of women who are certified family law specialists who are under 40 years old. Wow. And there are definitely not a lot of certified family law specialists under 40 years old who speak 3 languages, who are first-generation Americans, who understand the importance of, like we just talked about, the differences in your cultural dynamic. So I have recognized that, unfortunately, whether you come from a underprivileged community has a huge impact on whether you experience domestic violence, sadly. That is just a harsh reality. And so I believe in outreach, and I try to volunteer when I can. I do a lot of pro bono work in the DV domestic violence world. And that's something I'm really proud to do. And I'm proud of the fact that I can do it as a certified specialist, because there are a lot of attorneys that give their time, and that's great. But there are not a lot of certified family law specialists that give their time. And I would encourage more of us to do that, because we have an edge. And those people that are going through that deserve the people that have an edge to help them.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're forgetting one certification. Badass. Certified
I was just
badass.
going to say that. I was
dude,
gonna
if
say that.
I could get that
For sure.
certification, I'd be first in line. I'd be first in line.
I think what you said resonates, like just how you put it. You know, they need more people like you in their corner.
It's not even just people like me. It's just generally people who are willing to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
I consider myself lucky. Yeah, I joke when I say I'm insubordinate, And that's why I don't have a boss.
You're an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur.
I joke about, people are like, oh, what do you love about having your own business? And I say, oh, I'm insubordinate. That's a joke. That's a joke. No, the real thing I actually love about having my own business is the freedom to give my time the way I see fit.
Yeah.
Well
And
said.
one of the ways that I like to give my time is to causes like domestic violence.
Yeah.
And I hope that as my business grows and it becomes more and more successful, I have more freedom to give more of my time, because I think that that's a luxury that I've earned, and I'm proud. That's one of the things I'm most proud of.
Totally.
So,
And thank you.
Very well said.
Thank you.
Extremely well said.
For doing that. I think as a woman, it's so important to know that there's somebody out there that, is willing to put themselves out there to protect the most vulnerable. Because I really do believe women and children, through divorce, through the breakdown of a household, suffer the most.
So you are correct.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not a scientific fact. There's not going to be, we're not, Bill Nye the Science Guy is not about to bust through this door and be like the Kool-Aid man.
A calculation.
Totally.
Yeah. Let me get on my calculator. In my experience, having seen what I've seen, being somebody that is, my practice is focused on family law, I believe that generally,
Yeah.
it's not always the case, but generally, more often than not, women are the ones who put their career on the back burner so that their husband can further their career. And that doesn't mean that women, I mean, look at me.
Sure.
I have a successful
Not
career,
always.
but
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
This is a fact. My career would be further along
If
I did not do certain things to support where my husband currently is at this moment. That is a fact.
I'm going to text Jonathan exactly that right now to remind him
He's
every
aware.
day.
Yeah.
He's aware.
Yeah. Like how people,
No, but and I think part of that is just a maternal instinct.
Yeah,
If,
I was gonna say.
if you choose to have
100%.
children,
Yeah.
it's a maternal instinct.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
something that happens when you have your baby and
Yeah.
you just kind of want to maybe be there more. And again, people are probably going to crawl up my rear for this. Whatever, sue me.
Whatever, sue
She
me.
knows a good attorney.
An attorney saying that.
I know.
Like, sue me.
I'm an insurance guy that's like cringe, admitting risk. She's like, bring it on.
That's a
Bring
good
it on.
tagline. That's
Bring
a
it
great
on,
tagline.
bitches.
No,
Yeah.
but I do
It is.
think that like women
It's
and
real.
children
Yes.
are in a particularly vulnerable situation
Yeah.
in the family law part of this society. When there's a breakdown in a family relationship, I think women have the short end of the stick sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And they have the advantage in certain ways.
Yeah, totally.
We can get into that too, but
Yeah.
that's
Is it hard
so-
I was gonna say, is it hard in your business sometimes to separate emotion with the business part when you see
Great question.
something, an involvement like that?
That's actually that's the one thing I struggle with
Yeah.
as a business owner, but specifically owning a family law firm.
Yeah.
For me, my personality, that was actually something I had to, it sounds terrible, but I had to make that my goal for 2025 was to start really valuing my time because I think I was giving away too much of my time
Yeah.
to people that were not, it was honestly, I wasn't honoring the no money, no honey rule enough.
Yeah.
And can't do that because if I'm going to have the luxury of supporting these DV causes in a meaningful, structured way that really makes the impact I want it to have,
Yeah.
I have to have a very, very, successful business. And to
Right.
do that,
Yeah.
it's got to be no contract, no conversation.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, I mean, running your own law firm, running your own business is no feat. What have been some of the challenges faced as a female in the legal world? What's your biggest challenges and how are you overcoming?
I do think there have been some improvements over time in the legal industry. I think some years ago, women had it a lot harder.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's so terrible. But it is still a male-dominated industry. And, you know, but I don't think I deserve any more credit for being a woman than a man. I don't take that stance personally. Some people do. I personally don't. Some people are going to jump up my ass again, sue me again.
That's a great tagline for it, too, right?
Sue me.
Sue me. I dare you.
Sue me again.
I say a lot of controversial stuff.
That's,
No, but that's just, I mean, look, there are times where, like, okay, here's a perfect example. I go to bar association events where there are 150 people, and out of those 150 people, maybe 135 of them are men.
Wow.
And it doesn't bother, like, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I could see how to somebody with maybe a different personality that would feel
intimidating.
Yeah.
maybe.
For sure.
And so I can understand why that might be an obstacle for somebody with a different style or a different personality. And that's not a negative thing. It's just a different personality.
Yeah.
For me personally, I guess I took the approach early on that men and women are different. We're just different. We're not, neither one is any better than the other. We're just different. We're sort of like good at different things. And like, you know, talking about sharpening the saw, we can sharpen my saw. And, you know, it is what it is. But I don't view it as like an obstacle per se. There's something I like about it. It's like a secret. I'm exposing my secrets. This is terrible. What the hell are you doing?
Now you're
I think
confident.
I know what you're about to say.
Podcast,
I'm
we
like,
expose.
Expose. No, so I actually, one of the things I love is it's sometimes great to be underestimated.
Oh, for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
And
For
it's
sure.
sometimes, sorry to interrupt, it's sometimes really great to be a woman in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
There are, like you said, there are differences, and our differences actually, for males that recognize that difference and like encourage it, I think
Yeah.
it gives you a superpower as a woman to be in a male-dominated industry. I really do believe that. I wholeheartedly, everything you're saying, I'm like, amen, sister, amen. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think there have been so many times where this happened. This happened 2 weeks ago. I hope you're watching, dude. I had this. He won't sue me. This attorney, like, preparing for this evidentiary hearing for several months. It got continued, and I could tell. I mean, there was like he was not preparing at all, and just completely, I think, not taking me seriously. Maybe because I say like a lot. I don't know. Whatever. And just really phoning it in, just not doing really anything. And I think he was underestimating me, maybe because I was a woman, maybe because I was young, maybe because I have a powder pink suit I wore a powder pink suit that was like tweed. And so I think he saw me when I came out of the elevator at Chatsworth Courthouse and was like, oh my God, who's this? It's a fucking joke. The first time. And so he thought this is going to be a breeze. And, you know, he underestimated me. And so it did not go well for him at trial. And his client was furious. Like fire was coming out of her top of her head in the parking lot. And it was great. It was fucking awesome. Oops.
No, you can say
It's okay.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
fucking curse all the
So
time.
it happens all the time. But then it's also great to get underestimated by women
Yeah.
who have been doing this a very
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
That you know, they have fallen into the trap where they feel like they have to act like a man to be successful in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that. I'm always going to wear these like foo-foo shirts. My hair's always going to look like this. I'm always going to talk like this. I'm going to be the way I am.
Yeah. You
Sue
are
me.
who you are.
Sue me again, a third time. I'm going to get sued a lot. Oh God, I hope I'm not speaking that into existence.
You're like, dude,
I'm gonna need an umbrella policy.
I got you, girl. I got you.
I'm gonna need.
I got a new client. I'm going to mitigate all her risks. She's
I'm
good.
gonna need an umbrella policy
Yes, I got
for
you.
my umbrella policy.
Exactly. We got you. We got you.
And I signed that waiver when I got on here,
Exactly.
which I did not read.
You might
Do
need a
as I say,
vacation home
not as
too.
I do.
Right.
You might need a vacation home as well.
just had a moment. There's a waiver?
Yeah.
I didn't read it. Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
No, but like that's great when they underestimate you, you know, because they fall into the trap of like, oh, I have to act like a man to do well in a male-dominated industry. Wrong.
Yeah.
So it's great. I actually like you said.
Yeah.
I like being underestimated sometimes. It used to bother me because you would feel reactive. You're like, oh, why are you underestimating me? And you have to react. But that is what they want.
Yeah.
Because then you start focusing on that
them,
instead of
yeah.
preparation and coming in with your sword all sharp and crazy, ready to go for the jugular. And instead, you let them focus on haha, and then you come in and you just cut them at the knees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I love it.
Let me bring you back into, because you have two realtors. I'm not a realtor at all. But I think this is a
Wait,
good segue.
what?
God bless you.
I'm the insurance guy.
I thought you were. I'm just kidding. Thank you for the clarification. But I'm going to need an umbrella policy
For sure.
after this
I got you,
podcast.
girl. I got you.
I'm actually really stressed out about it.
Do a new thing. Umbrella policies.
I have invited 3 lawsuits so far.
That is very likely. How often does real estate come into play in what you do on a daily basis?
So often.
Okay. How important is it to have a trusted, competent realtor on as a partner of yours, as a partner to your clients? How important is that?
It's very important because think about it. They're going through a really difficult time where, I mean, your house is your happy place. Your house is where you know, your kids came down to open presents in their pajamas. The memories there. That's where you decorated Easter eggs.
Right.
That's where you brought home your puppy. That's where you brought home your babies.
Yeah.
Okay? That's where you conceived your babies.
I'm bringing one home in 2 weeks.
I know.
Oh my God.
We have to catch up.
By the time this airs,
Yeah.
already be
You
here.
might be here. And Harrison?
Harrison.
Oh, is this official?
Ooh,
I voted.
Oh, breaking news.
How cute.
Back to business. So yes.
I already forgot.
He might need an attorney after this one.
All right. No.
What? I'm just kidding. What was I saying?
So the importance of having a
yes.
trusted real estate advisor.
Jeez Louise.
On your as part of
sorry.
your referral base, and then for
put
your
us off
clients.
track.
Right. It is really important because your home is, I mean, it's your home. It's not a house, it's your home.
Yeah.
So when people go through these divorces, that is almost always one of the most difficult things for people to let go of. And whether they're doing it as a sale that they do as an agreement or because it's court ordered, there's going to be a realtor involved. I mean, most of the time,
100%.
almost always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trust is everything when you're getting rid of something so important, not getting rid of, but when they call it
Having to let
disposing
go.
of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And so if you have a realtor involved that doesn't communicate,
Most importantly, that doesn't know how to communicate with a family law attorney and that knows
That is
what
my
you're looking
biggest
for
pet
because the judge and the court need things a certain way. And if you don't have a real estate agent that can help you as an attorney, that's a big problem. The emotional side of it is important, but also the technical side of it, or an agent who I've seen agents that have clients that go to them and go, yeah, we're getting a divorce. All right, let's list it. You're splitting it 50-50. Yeah, it's totally friendly. And there's a court order.
I was just going to say,
And
They don't
then
even know
there's
about
a
it.
judgment,
Yeah.
right? And the agent doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know, that things like that are just, it's frustrating. It
Competency.
Can be, competency, right? And if you're gonna help somebody through a divorce or the separation of a household, you have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You have to know how to do it right.
yeah. And like you said, sometimes there's an order
Right.
that maybe doesn't call for a 50-50.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or it has very specific language that dictates, for example, that before the house is listed, there has to be a certain discussion that maybe gets put into a stipulation and order that has to be submitted to the court before it's listed.
Right.
Maybe there's language about right of first refusal. I mean, there's stuff.
Yes.
And if that gets bypassed, I mean, you can get yourself in hot water. Worse, you can get the client in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And so
to add to the pain of already going through all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the last thing we need is more problems.
Right.
Yep, that's right. All right. So here's my final question, and we wrap up this episode. Karla, what advice would you give someone who's considering a career in law?
Don't do it. I'm kidding.
and then more importantly,
I'm joking.
more importantly, someone who's considering to start their own firm.
You know what? A career in law it can be very rewarding, and I'm not even going to say can be very exhausting. It is exhausting if you're doing it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Period. This profession is a service profession. And if I mean, there are going to be lawyers out there that are like, I disagree. You're wrong, frankly. We are here to serve people that are in need. We represent people that trust us during a time when they can't do it themselves.
Right.
And you are the face of another person. That is both an honor and a huge responsibility. So I think that if you're going to do this, don't take it lightly. Do your due diligence to know what you're doing. But also, you know what? Don't be afraid to jump in, take that chance, learn that thing, meet that mentor, fall into that weird pocket of the law that you maybe didn't think you were going to be good at, because I didn't think I was going to do family law.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
What did you start your career in?
Elder abuse.
That's right. Sorry.
I didn't, and you just never know what you're going to fall into
Right.
and what you might be
What
good
your
at.
niche might be.
And just, seriously, just just let it happen.
Yeah.
And trust yourself, trust your instincts. But you know the saying, honesty is the best policy. In this profession, there is no room for dishonesty.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. There are enough liars out there. Please, if you're going to join this profession, there's no room for dishonesty.
Yeah, I agree.
So take the responsibility seriously. It's very rewarding. If you're going to start your own law firm, do it. It's great. It's rewarding. It's hard work. Sometimes I feel like I'm wearing a lot of hats. All the hats. And sometimes some of the hats feel like helmets. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting a fucking beat down. But it's worth it because it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm insubordinate, so nobody can tell me what to do.
Boom.
But
All right. Well, that being said, Karla, thanks so much for being on this
appreciate it.
X podcast
So cool.
episode. With that being said,
What are out, girl?
Oh,
Lead
you
us
want
out,
to
huh?
sign us off? Come on, Real
Thank you,
Estate Liz.
guys. Thank you for having
Do the
us.
honors for us.
Elite podcast. It's been amazing.
It has been.
Have a great week. And
Alrighty.
let's go.
All right,
Let's
we're
go
out.
kill
We're
it.
out.